Hey everybody, it's Ginger on Wheels here again. Thanks for stopping by the channel where we get to test and unbox the latest electrically wheeled gadgets. Today for unboxing, as you can see, we've got the Hiboy Titan Pro. It's a dual 1200 watt motor scooter. It's very similar to the Turbo Wheel Lightning Plus and the Mantis Pro SE that we've got. What do you say we go ahead and take it out of the box? Where the heck is the Ginger on Wheels box cutter? Oh, there it is. All right, you guys, as I mentioned, this is the Hiboy Titan Pro. It's a dual motor, 1200 watts in each motor scooter. Top speed around 30 miles an hour, advertised range, I think 40 miles. And today we're just gonna take it out of the box and see what's inside and how it all goes, putting it together and things. So here we go. We got the Ginger on Wheels official box cutter. Cutting that box. As per usual, we have got a box in a box type situation. For you new to the channel, that just means we have a huge box inside of our already huge box. It's been a while since I've had to lift a box this big out of another box. This would be much easier with two people, just for the record. If you've got an extra person laying around. All right. Immediately I'm surprised. Check out the specs on the website versus the specs on the box. This very clearly says 1600 watt motors, 25 miles an hour, range up to 36 miles. What? On the website, it very clearly says 1200 watt motors, 30 mile an hour speed, and 40 mile range. I don't get how a company can spend so much money on R&D and actually build a final product and ship it out to consumers and have such discrepant information. How do you do that? Are they 1200 or 1600? That's exactly why I started the Ginger on Wheels channel for all of you, just FYI, because I got my Cobble Wolf Warrior and it differed from the manufacturer specs too when I ordered it, and I thought people had the right to know. So let's go ahead and slice this Hiboy box open and see what's really going on inside. There's this clamp that sort of just fell to the bottom of the... Okay, there's that cardboard piece, and then there's this clamp that fell to the bottom of the box. Looks like it's meant to mount to the top of the stem, and then the handlebars run through this hole right here. So set this aside and see if I can get this monster out of the box first. You can pick it up from the rear fender and the front frame. So this isn't bad to pick up, really. All right, there she is. Boom. Let's check for the manual. Oh, hey, just another huge unlabeled chunk of metal in the box. Wonder what that's for. Okay, so believe it or not, this is all that came in the box for the brand new Hiboy Titan Pro. This looks like the stem latch. I'm gonna take a guess and say this is for some sort of folding mechanism thing. And then oh nice. Yeah, this is actually like a rear tire hugger type fender. It appears I'm missing one of the screws to hold it in. It might be in the box, I'll search later, but it doesn't come attached, probably because it's made of, oops. Just made of cheap plastic and it would probably bend if they shipped it in the box. They're getting smashed around for thousands of miles. The deck, cool. Protective sticky tape there. And charger. Ooh, it looks like there might actually be a manual in here after all. You can't ship a scooter like this without a manual, dude. You got your classic multi-tool, just a standard multi-tool that comes, I think it's come with every scooter I've ever bought so far. So there's that. Okay, so the user manual, pretty thin. This manual is only in English. I don't know if they send this manual out with every scooter or just to ones for the US. It's the Hiboy Titan Pro electric scooter user manual. It's in full color. That's pretty cool. Ooh, it's showing like some throttle thingy here and describing all the functions. Does this have a cool throttle on it? Oh, sweet. It does. This doesn't have the QSS4 or like the standard i3 display. It's got a new thing. Let's explore that later. Yeah, a lot of the questions I see from beginner scooter riders are all addressed right here on page 11 by the Hiboy Titan Pro manual. It's got a limited warranty. Let's see what's up with the warranty from Hiboy here. 30-day satisfaction guaranteed return policy. If you're unsatisfied with your purchase, Hiboy's return policy allows you to return the product purchased on the authorization channel within 30 days counting from the date of receipt of shipment and request of a refund from the authorization channel for any reason. Ow. And it says, note, express shipping costs unavailable, but for any reason. That's important and very cool. But to qualify for a refund, all the following conditions must be met. You have to have an RMA number. The cost of return shipping will be borne by the customer. Borne by the customer. For warranty service, please keep the receipt or order invoice. Return product must be in good physical condition, not broken or damaged, which, why would you return a not broken or damaged scooter? All accessories included with your Hiboy must be included in the return, and if you return a product to Hiboy without an RMA or without all original parts included, Hiboy retains the right to refuse delivery of such a return, which means you'll be out shipping costs and you'll still have a crabby scooter. And then it's got all their socials on the last page. So all in all, not a very bad manual at all. I quite like it, and it'll be great for beginner scooter users. This is the lay charger. A little safety manual about how to charge your battery too. Okay, so the charger we've got here is a 2 amp charger, and it's a 48 volt scooter with a 12.5 amp hour battery. So if my calculations are correct, we've got about twice as much or more power than the eMove Cruiser and a battery about half as big, and they claim it has similar range. I'm gonna go ahead and just make a guess right now that this thing's got about 20 miles of range with me on it. Pretty sloppy with the silicone back here, but hey, they use silicone to seal the hole. They're making attempts to waterproof the scooter or make it water resistant. Let's see down here. There's nothing in the front to make it waterproof. The cables are wrapped really, really well though. I'll show you this later. So I imagine if you added silicone right in the front here, it would be pretty waterproof. At least the deck portion. It's got this new display, so I can't speak for that. If I'm feeling adventurous one day, maybe I'll go ahead and just spill water all over it to see. So this is the locking piece that it came with. It's like this thing. Let me show you an up close of what this looks like. So this is the pin that goes in the folding mechanism. It's got like a free spinning cylindrical thing with threads on the end, and then just this weird shaped thing. So let's stick it in the front area there and see how it locks the scooter into place. Okay, so here's the scooter folded upright, just like this. And there's a hole in the front here, and I'm going to thread the screw through that hole. Oh, there's a groove on the lower part and a groove on the upper part, and that's where these two things go into. In theory, unless all these threads strip and then one of these pieces of metal busts off the side, this thing won't come undone when you're riding, which is cool. And assuming that their manufacturing tolerances aren't horrible, then it should have no wiggle. But knowing Hiboy, that's very unlikely. It's kind of dorky looking if you ask me, but you could always put like a logo or decal or sticker on there or something. Also, for what it's worth, the welds that are actually holding this tube onto this piece on the bottom, they're painted black, and you can see through the paint that these welds are not great. I mean, they're on, they're done, no gaps, but it's not like dimes, you know? I'm gonna cut this foam piece off the stem tube carefully as to not scratch the paint. Peel that off. Hiboy. Who came up with that name? Oh, okay. That's just a sticker. You can peel this off. These are all individual stickers. They don't feel or look like they're gonna peel up by themselves, but you can do it yourself pretty dang easily with just your fingernails. So, for what it's worth, if you don't want the Hiboy on there, you can just replace this piece of grip tape and then that, and then you can have like a ghost black scooter. Okay, so with the scooter just folded up and then this thing's screwed into here. Oh wow, there's like absolutely zero stem wiggle. I really hope that stays that way. That's the best scooter I've felt so far. How has no one thought of this sooner? This is a great idea for a folding mechanism. If this thing weren't a big derpy circle, it would look really cool. Well, I guess it wouldn't look really cool. It's just the most functional folding thing. It takes a little longer than some of the other ones, like the Cobble Wolf Warrior. Oh man, that thing takes forever to fold and unfold. And the 11X is even worse. This one, you're done in like 30 seconds or so. That's kind of cool. The question is, does this thing come loose, vibrate loose while you're riding? Tightens up real nice though, so I don't think it will. Okay, let's go ahead and put the handlebars on. Nope, there's 2 screws in the bag with the multi-tool and they have thread or Loctite on them. Why only 2? Oh, because you only need 2. All right, so with this piece, it goes on this way. Solid part on top and your circle right here. And the 2 screws they included in the box go here, and then there's another hole here. So you just thread them through the holes yourself and then tighten them down. And to get the handlebars on, you have to actually take these 4 screws out, pull off the front plate, put the handlebars in, and then put the plate back on, and then put all the screws in. This is what they have to do to be able to ship it to you for so cheap. And by cheap, I mean free. Price on their website includes shipping to the US, which is pretty sweet. For this project, you will either need a drill with some Allen screw drill bits, or just an Allen wrench set. I got my Jimmy Chang Allen wrench set. Not officially his, I just put his sticker on there. But this thing has every Allen key you'll ever need, and they're like extended long sizes, so I really like it. I'll link this in the description if you want to grab one. Okay, these screws are size 4 Allen keys. So you see that blue stuff on the threads of the screw? That's Loctite, and it's like this sort of goopy material that will spread in between the threads on the screw as you screw it in, and it sort of holds the screw in so it doesn't vibrate loose. If your scooter doesn't come with this, for whatever scooter you may end up getting, you can always buy a tube of this. It's just called Loctite, and the blue one is the one you want. It's removable. Red one is bad, that's permanent. I learned that the hard way. It's up to you to make sure that the scooter is straight up and down and that this thingy is screwed on facing forward. All right, putting one screw in the bottom left. These screws you want to put in real tight. If this thing moves while you're riding, you're gonna have a bad day. Okay, so these two are really tight. Now I'm gonna loosen and unscrew all 4 of these. Okay, so all 4 screws are removed, and now we just have this like cupped piece here. And we just go ahead and set the bars inside le piece. And the bars have this writing on here with plus or minus millimeters. So you can see if the bars are facing forward or back, and you can line it up in the center with this clamp here. Oops, almost put them on backwards. Oh my gosh, it has a thumb throttle. I didn't know that. Sick. Breaks it immediately. Alrighty, so we got our writing in the front here. I like to have my brake levers facing down because I'm tall. And when I stand on the scooter, unless I want to hurt my wrist, like by having it way up here, I like to bend the bars forward so my fingers are facing to, ooh, comfortable brake lever. They're just cable actuated brakes. They don't look semi-hydraulic. Yeah, just cable actuated disc brakes in the front and rear, and they look like 140 millimeter, just for the record. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this handlebar assembly on. Okay, so what you wanna do when you're putting these 4 screws in is put one in here, one in the opposite corner, one in here, and one in the opposite corner, loosely fitted. Then you adjust your bars to where you want them, and then slowly tighten the screws down and doing opposite corners so that you're not pushing down too far on one side. You want it to tighten down evenly. Oh, what are you? There's some sort of like RFID or key chip thing here. Oh, I don't know, I'll have to look around later for like some sort of key. Okay, my clamp piece is officially tight. I'm gonna go ahead and just triple check these to make sure, because I don't wanna go crashing once we get out on the road. So on your throttle mechanism, which is right here, the only thing that's actually tightening this on is a screw that's going up through the plastic in the bottom and just pushing against the bar. So it's kind of like crimping it on in a sense. So you just want to unscrew this screw right here, which I'm imagining is like a size 2, it's really small. Tilt the throttle so it's facing back towards you and you can see it when you're standing on the scoot, and then tighten that baby back up. So this is where we normally see our Eco Turbo button. There's no writing on here, so I don't think it has an Eco Turbo mode. It does, however, have the single dual button, so it's got dual motors. It has a key ignition here, and this looks like either an RFID chip or like some sort of battery gauge. It's hard to tell, but I need to find the key. It wasn't obviously placed on the scooter anywhere. Hey, Hiboy, if you're watching this, which I hope you are, you should put the key in the bag with the charger. So I found the key in that huge box just laying in the bottom, and it is amongst this like crushed cardboard stuff, so it was really hard to see sitting there in the dark in the bottom of the box. Hiboy, you should put these in the bag with the charger, or even better, use the little key ring function and slide them around to the cables on the stem so that they're impossible to lose. But anyway, this is our moment of truth. Does the scooter turn on? Putting key in hole, turning ignition. Oh, okay, so it is a battery gauge. It's got a red LED and then 3 greens. Cool, so that's the battery. And then if I push this power button, this screen should turn on, right? Ready? Moment of truth. Oh yeah, baby. Look at that. The manual says that the scooter has 3 speed modes, but you can actually cycle all the way through up to 9. I'm gonna put mine to 9 because that sounds pretty fast. This manual is deplorable in the settings department. It's so vague. It leaves a lot to the imagination here. I'm like, why are there 9? I thought there was 3 speed modes. And if you push the power button, it'll cycle through the settings. Like you can see it's got odometer, voltage, and then 8 to 57, like what the heck? What? There's no explanation whatsoever in the manual as to what H857 means. Did it just change? Okay, anyway. It's got a distance, odometer, voltage, and then H. Anyone comment below what H means, because I'm at a loss. Anyway, if you hold the up and down buttons at the same time, you can enter the P settings. So right now I'm at P01, and that's set it to 2, and you can see that P01 set to 2 means middle brightness mode for the display. So I'm gonna go back into the P settings, and then I'm gonna change it to 3. Does that change the brightness of the display? No. No, it does not. So the display looks like it probably is at a fixed brightness. P02, mile per hour and kilometer per hour. Okay, so I'm at 1, which is miles. P03 is set to 48, that's the battery voltage, we're not gonna change that. P04, sleepy time. 0 means no sleep, and then 1 through 60 is the number of minutes that the scooter will remain on before it sleeps. P05 is assist gear. 3, 5, 9 gears are optional, 0 is optional. I have no idea what that means. Why would you put that in your manual with no explanation? Moving on is the diameter of the wheels. It says keep it at 10 inches, do not change. But, fun fact, if you find that after testing the scooter, the speedometer is discrepant from the actual speed, you can adjust the tire size in your P settings to compensate for that. So if the scooter says you're going 40, but you're really only going like 35, then if you decrease the tire size in here, then it will align closer to what the actual speed is. 7, measurement speed, 0 through 100. Mine came at 40, and I cranked her up to 100. That's gonna be max speed. P8, speed limit, keep it at 50, do not change. Mine came at 99. I don't know what that's a measure of, but higher than 50. It says startup settings for P9. 0 means kickstart mode, and 1 means non-kickstart mode. So you can see when I change it to 1, there's a little man who appears, and he's kicking his scooter. So I'm gonna keep mine on 0, because I don't like kicking scooters to start them up. P10 is the drive mode setting. You can have assist start, electric drive, or assist and electric drive coexist. I honestly have no idea what's the difference between P9 and P10. Someone tell me, because I don't know. Resistance sensitivity setting, range 1 through 24. I don't know if this is regen braking, or if this is like when you let off the throttle, how much resistance is in the motors without actually hitting the brakes physically, or what, but I'll experiment with that on ride tests, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and catch my first ride of the scooter, which is not gonna be in this video, it'll be another video. Resistance start strength, setting 0 through 5. Well, it sounds like I want mine to be really strong when it starts. So I want 5, but it's the resistance start strength. So I want the resistance to be low when I'm starting, so I'm gonna put it at 0. P13, assist magnetic pole or plate type setting. I don't know how many magnets are in these motors. I'm just gonna put 12, it says 12. Controller limit or controller current limit setting. So this is how many, oops. So controller current limit setting, mine's set to 20. I set it there, but it came at like 13. So that's how many amps are gonna get pushed through your controllers when you're flooring it. And obviously you want max amps. As long as the controllers don't blow, that's just more speed, more power. P15, temporarily unavailable. Sure, just says 41. P16, clear the odometer. Long press the up shift key for 5 seconds to clear your odometer. I guess life hack if you ever want to sell the scooter. And it said P17 is the cruise function. Can we go that high? What? Okay, that's funny. There is no cruise function. There is no P17. P15, P16, P1. So in order to get into, I noticed a cruise setting earlier. I'll let this revert back to the main screen. When you hold the down key over here, this thing comes up that says cruise pass. I think that means cruise control's on, but I'm gonna hold the down key again and it'll go away. What does pass mean? If I hold up, a little light icon shows up in the display here, but no lights actually come on the scooter. Everything else seems like we got it all set up. Forgot to put the fender on. Oh yeah, I remember why I forgot to put it on. There's 2 screw holes in the bottom of this fender here, and they're meant to screw onto, it's meant to screw into those 2 holes there in the back of the rear tire. You can see there's only 1 screw in there, and I need 2 to screw in the fender, so I'm gonna go digging around in the box again and try and find that little screw. Hiboy, put the screws and everything you're gonna need in the bag with the charger. You don't chuck a little tiny screw like that or something super small like a key inside of a box this big. What are you thinking? So I'll just jiggle every piece of foam like this until I hear a screw fly out. Holy smokes, I actually found the screw. I can't believe it after ripping all this stuff out. There she blows. So we have all the screws to put the fender in on the scoop. Good news. Okay, so we're looking at a view of the back tire here. This is the back of the scooter, and this is the fender that comes with the scooter. As far as I can tell, the fender just goes on, yeah, like that. And it covers this back section of the tire here so that water can't spray up on your pants, which I love that. I don't have a scooter that's dual motors that doesn't get water on my pants. Can you believe that? Let us go ahead and just line up these holes and put the screws in. This is the fender here, obviously. And then there's 2 screws in the back of the rear swing arm. And you use that to screw the fender in with a size 4 Allen key, or Allen wrench. It is flexible, it's plastic. I can see why they took it off in shipping. Looks like it might break, and it also lowers the profile of the scooter by 1 inch if you have it off. Cheaper shipping. But there's a gap right here. I'm hoping that this gap doesn't prove to just negate the effects of this rear fender entirely and spray me anyway. I'd like to think that they put a little effort into planning, you know, this gap right here in between the rear fender and the mud guard. So we'll see. We will see. Subscribe to the channel so you can watch me ride this thing all around in the wet and the mud and stuff. So on second thought, I've discovered that these brakes are kind of give and take. They're a new type of brake, which is cool. They have longer brake levers than normal, and they have a little padded section in the front, which is really cool feeling on your fingers. It's comfortable, it's nice. The only downside is that they wiggle. You can see this. They wiggle up and down a lot, and it kind of makes them feel less, I don't know, solid or secure than other grips. So it looks like the screw that you would need to adjust to fix the wiggliness is like a pin, non-adjustable, so that's sort of a bummer. Well, let me go ahead and bounce on the scooter so we can get an idea of what the suspension performs like. What? Is the suspension turned on? What? That can't be right. Huh. There is very little travel in this big old bushing suspension, and this is clearly just a knockoff. Barely any travel at all. Wow, what? Okay, so this is the Turbo Wheel Lightning Plus. Check out this travel on the suspension for this thing. It's like a pillow compared to that Hiboy. And then just for fun, let's compare it to the Mantis Pro SE, because these are all very similar scooters in specs. The only difference is that the Hiboy is like $1,000 cheaper. Okay. Rear suspension is squeaking just a tiny bit. We're gonna need to put some silicone lubricant on it, but it looks like somewhere in between the Lightning and the Hiboy. I prefer this suspension the most. It's less prone to speed wobbles. It's gonna absorb any all of a sudden impacts, which I don't know if the Hiboy is gonna be able to do, but it's not gonna give you speed wobbles or anything crazy at high speed like the Lightning might. They do make dampers for these scooters though, pretty sweet. Another thing new to this scooter is the charge port location. It's to the right of the rear tire and it's covered by that waterproof grommet. You can see as long as you push the grommet in there, it looks pretty watertight. But it's new to have a charge port in the back of the scooter. That's kind of cool. One last thing that's really strange, it has these screw holes in the side. They look like M10 size threads. So I need to ask them what those screw holes are actually for. It turns out the scooter is available with a seat option, and those screw holes are where you screw the seat screws into. So that's the kickstand down there, and it unfolds really well. It's a little bit longer than normal kickstands because this thing seems like it's higher off the ground, but it does a pretty good job of holding the scooter up. I can't get it to go from flat and then knock it on the kickstand and have it fall over. So that's cool. It's got a little bit of give in it, like from side to side, but that's so that it can rest on the kickstand instead of just being propped on the end of it. Very cool. So the rear brake is on the left and the front brake is on the right, and they both scrape out of the box. So I'm gonna have to do my brake adjustment. And in case you missed that video, I'll link it above now, but it's a pretty foolproof way to adjust most disc brakes. All right, everybody, that's it for the unboxing today of the Hiboy Titan Pro. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned because I'm gonna be doing full reviews on this scooter, the Turbo Wheel Lightning, and the Cabo Mantis Pro SE in the future. So I'll see you guys then.